Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be reviewing Pray Care by Lazy Wolf Games. Pray Care is a 2 to 6 player card matching game where you play as a park ranger and dangerous animals have escaped from under your care. Your job is to protect all the adorable animals in the reserve and prevent these dangerous animals from eating everything. So we're going to take a look at the game, how it plays, and I'll share my final thoughts afterwards. So here we have a 3-player setup, but let's just focus on the player board in front of us. In the beginning, you're going to be given 2 rows of 5 cards. You choose 2 cards to flip face up, and then you won't know what the other face down cards are. So the objective of the game is to make pairs in the columns. So you're going to want a 5 here, and you're going to want a 2 here. On your turn, you can either draw the top card of the deck, or the top card of the discard pile. If you draw the top card of the discard pile, you have to replace it with one of the cards in play. If you draw the top card of the deck, and you don't like it, you can just discard it and end your turn. However, in this case, we're going to want this card because we can make a match. So we're going to discard this, and then we'll play this card in front of us. Any new cards that you gain will always be played face up. So in this case, we're going to make a match. Now normally these cards would be worth 5 points each, but because they're matched, they're worth 0. And remember, the person with the lowest score wins. In addition to that, we'll also resolve the ability down here. So this says look at one of your face down cards. So we're going to take a look at a card, and this is just going to give us some extra information in a future turn. So play will continue clockwise until one person has all their cards turned face up. After that, there will be one final round, and then everyone will turn their cards face up. So let's assume the game is ended, and we're going to turn all of our cards face up. Because we make an additional match here, this will also be worth 0 during this process. So we're only going to count these cards, and these cards when scoring our endgame total. And whoever has the lowest score wins. So I won't go over all the cards and what they do, but basically the cards with the lower numbers will generally hurt you or help your opponents, while the higher numbers will help you a lot. Now the thing is, if you fail to make a match for a low number, you're not penalized too much. But if you fail to make a match on a high number, that's going to hurt you a lot. So some of the cards are like you can draw extra cards from the deck and discard piles during your turn. You skip your turn, you can skip your opponent's turn. But the one that makes the biggest impact is swapping cards. So there's a few cards that can do this, and they'll either swap your opponents, yourself, or swap one card with yourself and your opponent. Now imagine a situation where someone makes a pair of 8s. Now, it says switch 2 card positions from any opponent's field. So if they swap your 2 and your 5 before the game had ended, then this is going to be worth 14 points now instead of 0, and that'll hurt you a lot. So that's basically a rough idea of how the game is played. So I've really been enjoying Pray Care, and we've been using it as a filler game on game nights while waiting for people to show up or while we're taking a break from longer games. And I really like it because it's easy to teach, it's easy to play, and it accommodates a lot of players. Now, mechanically, I really like it because the game never feels like it's slowing down. Even if you make a high number match and you attack another player, their cards still remain face up, and that contributes to the game ending. So remember, the game ends when one person has all their cards turned face up. So it's not like you're impacting that component of the game. Now, the other part that I like is that when the game ends, you might just have a random match when you turn your cards face up. And it feels pretty good to eke out a win just through random luck. Now, normally I wouldn't recommend that, or like that in sort of big meteor games. But because the games are only 10 to 15 minutes long, just sort of getting a random win like that does feel pretty good. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that this game is just pure luck either. You're really going to be wanting to keep track of the players to your left and right, because the player to your right will feed you cards that you need. So you want to go for matches that he isn't going for. And alternatively, you feed the person to your left. So you don't want to be playing cards that give him easy matches. So overall, I really enjoyed Pray Care as a light filler game. It's something I would have wanted to try with my younger cousins, just sort of as a family game. So I can't recommend that yet, but maybe as a follow-up video, I can talk about my experiences playing with family. But that being said, if you're looking for a nice filler game with awesome art, I would definitely recommend Pray Care. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Otherwise, thank you for watching.